Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Right now is the time to protect your home from fall invaders, stink bugs, box elder bugs, ladybugs, all trying to get into your home to winter there. You don't want them. Get a one-time treatment. Simple, easy. I did it. You don't even smell it when they've been there. It's all outside. Southeast Termite and Pest Control, they can help protect your home from fall invaders. And here are our next wave of fall invaders. VFL quarterback Bobby Scott back with us. Good to have you here.
Always good.
And right down there, Mr. Chuck Cavaleris, who's got a big grin because he is dominating in the picks segment. All right, we're going to talk about, now coming up next, I want to tell you, next we're going to talk about play calling and Mike DeBoard. Take your tweets on that. Oh, those are pretty. But first, the next tweet. Couple of them. Butch Jones at Tennessee is 0-8 against SEC West teams. People upset. Somebody else says Tennessee has work to do because they haven't beaten a West team in 6 years. Pathetic. Embarrassing. Guys, there's one caveat to that, and that is you're the poor sap that has to play Alabama every year, and they don't lose to anybody. Their last loss to an East team overall was 2010. South Carolina, and they've only lost 2 East games, since 2008. One of those was in the championship game. So Alabama is half your losses. That's kind of a rough tweak. But the rest of it, is that embarrassing to you that they can't beat somebody in the West?
I don't think so. I think you got to look at who they're playing. Last year we played an Arkansas team who ended up being a great team in the West. You know, this year we thought we got lucky getting Texas A&M, who's turned around and probably made the turnaround of the year this year for the West. And so I think it's more bad luck than anything.
Yeah, and we talk about, Vegas trends all the time. Talked about it last week. The SEC West is at 80% winner over the past 10 years against the SEC East. Tennessee, it's not just Butch Jones. Tennessee now is 0-13. 13 losses in a row against the West. Hadn't won a game against the West since 2010 against Ole Miss. So it's just the situation. The SEC West is just better, and when you get that rotating opponent, you're usually catching them at the absolute wrong time.
Some of that's dumb luck, yeah. Let me get this next question to Bobby and Sterling, and it's about Tennessee losing to Alabama yet again. Next tweet, do we have it? Do we have it? Or am I going to tell you what it is? The tweet was something to the effect of, if you can't beat, there you go. No, that's not it. Go ahead and take that one down. What's jumping ahead? This one is, if you can't beat Alabama now with this team, when can you beat them?
Well, I'll take that. I think our chances would have been incredibly better had we had a healthy team. We got 20 guys hurt. We've got guys that haven't seen the field playing against the #1 team in the nation. I mean, they gave it all they had. We came up short, but we're going to learn from yesterday. I promise you that.
A healthy team would have helped. But we're not beating them anyway because we got beat physically at the line of scrimmage.
Part of it's because the injuries,
quarterback
John,
takes
can
the ball
I
in
give
the
a quick
middle
answer to that?
and runs around the end and never gets touched. I mean, you've got to have a cornerback, somebody out there to force the play at something. I mean, we got beat because they physically whipped our butt.
But don't you think so you don't count it up to injuries then?
No, I mean,
there you go.
Injuries,
that's the one people want to hear.
Injuries happen, and you've got to have people that are ready to step in and play. And you've got to try, you've got to coach those people that, by golly, you got to be ready. I mean, it's.
I tell you what,
you're on the island today, Bobby. But I'll tell you this: the angry fans, they believe you. They don't care that you're on your 5th and 6th linebackers. They should play like your 1st and 2nd.
To answer the question, John, I don't think Tennessee beats Alabama as long as Nick Saban is still the coach there.
I don't think many people beat Alabama while Nick Saban said. But I would say this: I don't like the if not now when argument. And here's why. Florida, 1997, senior Peyton Manning. You can't beat them. If you're not going to beat them now, when are you going to beat them? The next year with a Greenhorn quarterback, T. Martin, who had a terrible game, but Florida turned it over 6 times and missed a chippy field goal in overtime, and you beat them. The idea that, well, if you didn't beat them this year, well, last year you came closer at Tuscaloosa. Yeah. You don't know. It's football. It depends on who's hurt on both teams, the matchups that year. I don't buy the if not now, when. All right, next one. Last, and I think we've already shown this, and we can go back to that. There we go. The term resiliency should be put to bed now. Looks like the Vols have given up. Did they give up? Bobby, I'll start with you.
I think in the fourth quarter, I don't think they were playing or trying to play with the intensity that they did start in the game. So I would say that
Are
they.
you running
they
political
let up a little
office?
bit.
Is that like a political answer? What are you doing?
Well, I mean,
there?
I'm not carrying water for Tennessee, but I disagree.
Yeah, I am. That's a truthful answer.
I don't. Okay.
I think they were
an
giving it
angry
all.
answer.
I think they were giving it their all. But again, you got to look at who was in the game. You had true freshmen in on the offensive line. You had a mixed match of offensive line that's really probably not even practiced together until maybe this week. You've got secondary guys that were just. Again, I mean, we talk about the 5th and 6th guy. I mean, you can't ask someone that walks on to go out there and play like Jalen Reeves-Maven.
Colton
Jumper
is not Darren Kirkland and Elliott Berry.
But I'll say this:
Jalen
Colton
Reeves-Maven.
Jumper's. If you look at his potential is right here. He's playing right here, but still Jalen Reeves-Maven is there.
Yeah.
And so
you're talking about NFL talent
yeah.
to a former walk-on and a guy who was not the highest recruit in his own family.
But I still
But
say
that doesn't mean he's not a great
playing
player.
as hard as he can play, though.
And
Well, you said they weren't in the fourth quarter.
I mean, hey.
I'm trying to dig it.
That's
I
all
know
right.
you're ornery. All right. Tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk.
You're on my back, you're off somebody else.
When we come back, we're going to talk about Mike DeBord and play calling. Come on back to the Sports Source.